Honestly, I'm pretty impressed considering I forgot to even think about that readathon. I've still managed it, and this TBR honestly is manageable. Hello my loves, and thank you for joining me. It's Kirsten and we're doing my May TBR. As you always, I will be rolling a 6 coloured sided dice. This dice correlates to a different coloured dice that sits on top of different prompts. Honestly, I need to find a better way to streamline this because I feel like it's a lot of hassle, but never mind. We're going to be rolling the dice a minimum of 5 times, and this time if the dice comes up with the same colour twice, I do a re-roll, and normally I've been only doing 1, but I feel a bit more confident, so we're going to do it. If the same colour comes up twice, I will have 2 re-rolls. So say for instance we have a pink and a pink, that's 1 re-roll, and then if the next time if we end up with a green and then green comes up again, that will be the second re-roll, but we're going to leave it there. We're not going to do it loads. I used to constantly doing it every single time, but those days are past, people. Those days are past. Okay, so we have a minimum of 5 books and up to 7, depending on how many re-rolls I end up getting. Could be none. That's never happened, but it could be. Anyway, I need to choose the 6th prompt, so let's choose that and then get to roll number 1. Let's go green. Reread. I do like a good reread, so that's a nice one. Alright, as I said, let's just go straight to roll number 1. Roll number 1. Purple. Lowest rated on my TBR. Okay, well we're not starting off amazing. Roll number 1 was lowest rated on my TBR. So for this one we need to use my phone. So we go on to Goodreads, and then I do have a shelf that is just for my physical TBR, and then I'll just pop it by average rating and go by lowest. I'm a bit nervous. Oh, okay, so the lowest one is actually Classic Tales of Detection by Edgar Allan Poe. Let me grab that. Okay, so that's this one. It's quite a short book, so I'm not mad about it, but I'm quite surprised that it is ranked so lowly on Goodreads. But there we go. Okay, so that is going to be the first book for the month. In all honesty, bit nervous because it is ranked so lowly, but classics can be, because obviously if someone picks up a classic and it's not something that they're into, they'll rank it low. So yeah, overall I'm not mad because it is quite short, and I think all of these stories are quite short, and I do like having a short story collection because I can read this one slowly over the course of the month. Time to pick another prompt, and let's go with blue. We've got lots of blue. A retelling. You know, if you've been following me for a while, you know we enjoy a good retelling. Okay, roll number 2. Let's go. Roll number 2. Pink. A reread. Roll number 2 completely stumped me. I had no idea. It's a reread, and normally, as I said, I do love a reread, but I hadn't thought about anything lately that I was like, I'm really in the mood to reread this, especially because coming into like spring, summertime, I'm ready for more, weird for me to say, but like contemporary, romance, classic, like, I don't know, like, I'm in that mood. Still some fantasy, but I just haven't decided what sort. Anyway, beside the point, I wasn't sure what to reread, so instead I'm going to leave this down to you guys. I've chosen 2 books with a pinkish cover, and you guys get to choose which one of the 2 that I read. They're very different, by the way. So the first one is My Dark Vanessa. I read this over a year ago and I actually really liked it. It is a bit of a difficult read, but it's one that is very impactful. So we are following this woman who, when she was younger, was groomed by her English teacher, but she believed that this was her love story. She felt so empowered by this relationship. It was just something that shaped her. So you have 2 different timelines. The timeline of her being an adult and how it's impacted her, but also how other people are coming forward about this particular teacher, saying that he groomed them and stuff, and how they're all going to court against it. But she's like, no, I refuse to speak out against him because I love him, he loved me, it was a proper relationship. But then you also have the timeline from when she was a child, and you can see all the manipulation and everything that she goes through. It is more of a hard-hitting book, but I have been feeling like rereading this one lately, so that's one of the options. And then something that's completely different and more light-hearted is Red, White and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. This is one that I haven't read physically. I listened to it on audiobook and adored it, so I had to pick it up physically, but I still haven't got round to actually reading it. And this one is a gay romance, which actually is the only type of contemporary romance that I actually like. If it's not gay, I'm not having it. I don't understand why. So we do have a prince and the son of the lady of the White House, and we have these two that have to pretend to be friends because they made a big scene at this important gathering, and of course it all goes from there. It's a romance, I'm pretty sure you can work it out. Loved it, thought it was amazing. It started off my contemporary romance enjoyment. Anyway, these are the two options. Something completely different this month, but just let me know whether you want to go for something that was a little bit more thought-provoking and hard-hitting about a very complex relationship and the impact it has on this lady. And then we have Red, White and Royal Blue, which, as I said, is a fun gay romance. So yeah, let me know which ones you think. I enjoyed both. I thought they were both very well done. So I'll be intrigued to see which side you guys pick. Honestly, I don't think that could have been more unusual if I'd tried. Okay, choosing another prompt. Let's go yellow. Oldest book on my TBR. I don't like that prompt. That's just kind of calling me out. Okay, anyway, roll number 3. Roll number 3. Orange. Treat your shelf. Roll number 3 is a prompt I always like, and that is treat your shelf. And I have the exact book that I want to get, and that is Electra by Jennifer Saint. This is a mythology retelling all about Electra. I really liked Ariadne that Jennifer Saint did. I thought it was absolutely amazing, and this is a book I was planning to pick up anyway, so that's perfect. It works out brilliantly for this, and we've got a nice mythology retelling book on my TBR, which is something I always enjoy. So yeah, super excited to actually be reading a book that comes out on time. Like, normally it sits on my shelf for ages unless like it's particular authors and I'm just super excited, but otherwise new releases will just sit there looking pretty for a little while until I get around to it. But looks like that's not going to happen with Electra, because we are actually going to be reading that in May. So yeah, perfect. Okay, that's nice and easy. All right, we know the drill by now. Let's choose another prompt. Let's go blue again, actually. Thrifted. Love a thrifted find. Roll number 4. Orange again. And that's thrifted. Choosing another prompt. Let's go green. Manga or graphic novel. The first reroll. Orange again. Thankfully doesn't count for a reroll, and that's manga or graphic novel. We had our first reroll. Now you did see the orange come up 3 times. It doesn't actually count if it comes up 3 times. Twice, yes. Any more than twice, no, because otherwise we're just going to be re-rolling for forever. Okay, so the first one was Thrifted, and for this one I am going with Thief of Lives by Barb and JC Hendy. This is the second book in the Damn Fair series, and this series is one that I am trying to actually get through. I think I've read half of this book previously, but it was such a long time ago I can't actually remember. Now this book is technically a brand new book, but it was in the sale for 99p. So I'm counting that, because honestly I only have a couple of thrifted books left. As much as I do keep going shopping in like charity shops and secondhand shops, I just don't seem to find many. So we're gonna have to start counting sale books, because yeah, we're running out. But this one is a fantasy series and I really do enjoy it. We are following our Damn Fair, and she is half human, half vampire. She didn't realise this in the first book until the end of it. And then we have her companion Lucille, who is an elf who has also been trained to be an assassin. And in the first book they are more just trying to con people out of money by pretending to slay vampires, not believing they're actually real, until at the end of the book they realise vampires are real and they end up slaying some. And the story progresses from there. So yeah, I'm actually excited to continue on with this. Damn Fair I remembered a bit more, but this book I have no recollection of it at all. So yeah, this one is also out of print, so the next couple that I need to get in the series will be thrifted if I can find them anywhere. And then we had manga or graphic novel, and I've decided to carry on with another series. Look at us go. And that is Tokyo Ghoul, so I'm going to be reading Tokyo Ghoul Volume 4. I've mentioned this a few times, I do enjoy this manga. This is all about ghouls who are pretty much zombies but can get by as humans, but they do need to eat human flesh. And we have our main character who kind of straddles the human world and the ghoul world, putting him in a very unique position. I like it. I think the third book especially, you started to see more of a development in the storyline, how persecuting people for being different and needing to survive in a different way isn't right, and our main character is really starting to feel that. So I'm excited to see where this one goes. We've got to choose another prompt. Let's go pink. Over 500 pages. Well, that's a hefty prompt, but I think we are 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, so this is going to be the 5th roll. Is it going to be the last? Roll number 5. Pink. Again. Oldest book on my TBR. Choosing another prompt. Let's go for another yellow. Read a first in a series. And a reroll number 2. Blue. Highest rated on my TBR. Okay, so of course we had a reroll for the last roll, always the way, but we do have oldest book on my TBR, and this is honestly why I write down every single book that I haul in a month, because it makes my life a lot easier for those sort of prompts. So this one ended up being Tess of the D'Urbervilles by Thomas Hardy, and this is a book that I actually hauled in January last year, which, okay, it has been a little while. I was actually hoping to read this more in autumn time, but it is what it is. And this one is meant to be seen as one of the author's greatest works, but by Victorian double standards was condemned by contemporary critics as immoral. Sounds really interesting. I don't know too much about this one, I just know it is meant to be a really good book. I've never read any Thomas Hardy, so I don't know what to expect from it. And like I said, I wasn't expecting to read it this soon. I was hoping for more of a lighter classic read, but apparently that's not the way it's going. You know what, looking at this TBR pile, I can't complain that it's such a small pile, so okay, fine. But yeah, so this one is all about Tess D'Urbervilles, who goes to stay with her relatives because she's trying to escape poverty, but she ends up getting manipulated and everything. So it seems like an interesting one. It looks like we have Stonehenge in the background here, which I don't know if that actually plays a part, but there we go. And the final book to read this month is the highest rated on my TBR, which, as we know, means I have to get up Goodreads again. So exactly what we did for lowest rated on TBR, we're going to go to the shelf that I created, which has all the physical books on my TBR, and put it in average rating, but this time going from highest. Okay, so I can't actually read the one that's highest because it's Tokyo Ghoul number 7, which we're not up to number 7 yet, so we're just going to keep going down. Oh, okay, so it is still manga, but it is Sailor Moon Volume 4. We do have a lot of Tokyo Ghoul before that, but I am not up to those numbers, which I could technically just do Tokyo Ghoul number 5, but that is ranked lower than the Sailor Moon Volume 4. So we're just going to go with Sailor Moon Volume 4. I love Sailor Moon, think it's absolutely amazing. We are literally following a bunch of school kids who are also guardians of Earth, and they each represent a different planet, or in Sailor Moon's case, she is the Princess of the Moon, and they are always fighting against evil to protect Earth. It is so silly and so much fun, and I love it. I watched it growing up, absolutely adore it. So yeah, it is about time that I read number 4, because I read the first 3 quite close together, but then I haven't been reading number 4, so time to correct that. Honestly, looking at this TBR, it seems really, really easy. I know I've still got a book to buy, but that is obviously Electra is not a massive book, or at least I don't think so, and it's mythology inspired. So I'm actually going to say a book I would love to read, and then we need to see what of these books will fit with the Orillium readathon. I feel like I've done this a complete mess, but we're just going to go with it. So yeah, I'm going to say a book that I would love to fit onto this, then we're going to go through the Orillium readathon and just see if any of these books match any of those prompts. If not, then we're going to have to add in books for that. So this TBR, as much as I just said it was going to be easy, I don't know if it is. But a book I would actually love to get to soon is Emma by Jane Austen. I've been in a massive Jane Austen mood, but just haven't read it yet, so I would actually love to read this one. So I think in the month of May, if I can get to it, this is one that I want to really add to this TBR. It's about Emma, and a lot of people do say that she's quite an annoying character, but you can tell how much Jane Austen really likes her as a character, and so it's something that, I don't know, I've just really been feeling Jane Austen's writing, and I just feel like it's time. But it just didn't match with any of the prompts. This is a maybe, but now let's actually see what prompts I've got left to do for Orillium readathon. Okay, so a couple of these should fit. So for me to finish the necromancer prompt, I need to read something that is mythology inspired for the prompt of lore, which Electra will work for that, so that's perfect. Then we need demonology, which is shadow in the title, which I don't think, yeah, none of the books are marking for that. Actually, let's see if one of the short stories from the Detective Edgar Allan Poe book fits that, because that would be good. Nope, no shadow there. We have murders, and just no shadow. Ah. Okay, so that one doesn't work. And then we've also got Restoration, which is a book featuring healers, which I don't know if we've got any healers in any of these books. I think that's one I'm just going to have to read as I go and see if a book fits that, because I just don't know. And then the last one is Shapeshifting, so a creature with claws on the cover, which I don't think, well, you know, there is a bird. They technically have talons. See if we've got a better fit. Hang on. Sailor Moon, definitely not. No, unfortunately not. Yep, no, definitely not. No. And no. Okay, so we are just gonna have to really stretch it and go with the bird that is on the cover here, which is literally on top of a tombstone. But you know what? It does have talons, so we're gonna count that as claws. So that's that prompt. So then it literally is just two left, which is shadow in the title and healers. As I said, healers I don't think I'm going to know until I actually read the book to see if there's any healers in it. Not sure. Now let's see if we've got a book with shadow in the title. Do I even own a book with shadow in the title? Let's have a look. Okay, I have exactly one book that has shadow in the title. Honestly, why didn't I remember these Orillium prompts at the beginning? Because then this would have worked perfectly for the reread, which is Shadows Between Us. This is a book that I've already read by Trisha Levenseller. I do enjoy it. It's a standalone. Honestly, just a fun romance story. It's a little bit all over the place. It is an easy read though. Do I wish I had actually paid attention to what I was doing when I did this TBR? Yes, but it's fine. We got there. So that's going to be another book to read this month. So that's a definite. I mean, I can't even complain. I have 2 mangas on my TBR. It's going to be easy. Famous last words though. Okay, so let's go through this. We have, for definite on my TBR, we have Shadows Between Us. We have The Classic Tales of Detection and Adventure by Edgar Allan Poe. We have 2 mangas, so we have Sailor Moon Volume 4 and Tokyo Ghoul Volume 4. We also have Thief of Lives by Barb and JC Hendy and Tess of the D'Urbervilles by Thomas Hardy. Now also adding to this stack is Electra by Jennifer Saint, but again I'm not expecting that to be a massive book. And then adding to that we also have the books that you guys need to choose from, which is either My Dark Vanessa or Red, White and Royal Blue. So that's only one of these. So that, honestly, I have to admit, it is quite a manageable stack. Even though we have 8 books, it is quite manageable. So I would still like to get to Emma if I get a chance. So then that would bring our total books up to 9. But like I said, considering 2 of them are manga and 1 of them is a short story collection, I think this is actually weirdly doable, even though it's so many books. Right, I'm going to put this down because I'm going to drop it. But yeah, we got there, and I think we should have been able to tick off all of the final prompts for the Orillium readathon. As I said, the only one that I'm not sure on is Restoration, but I'm hoping that either the last few books that I've got to read in April, because as always, filming this slightly early, or the books in May, one of them will have healers in it. So it should be fine. So yeah, honestly, I'm pretty impressed considering I forgot to even think about that readathon. I've still managed it, and this TBR honestly is manageable. We've got a nice selection of fantasy, classics, manga, contemporary, like there's a lot going on in this TBR, but I am looking forward to it. Okay, well, thank you for watching it for this long. If you've made it this far, I am impressed. It was a bit of a mess. Don't forget to vote on what book you would prefer that I read for the month, and if you've made it this far, let's put a skull emoji again for the Orillium readathon, because I actually remembered at the last minute to make that a part of this TBR for the month. But there we go. Let me know the books that you're going to be reading this month and what you're excited for, or if you've read any of these, let me know your thoughts. But for now, If you have enjoyed it, let's give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to, comment to let me know that you're here, social media links will be linked below, and I will of course catch you in the next one.